Kris, if we start from the point of view that nothing is safe anymore, really nothing is safe anymore when it comes to technology, uh, really what should companies be doing? What do you think are the real issues of the day for companies today that just want to make sure that not only is the perimeter safe, but their data is safe?
I think there's going to be a really interesting change in that over the next few years, where organizations, on the basis that, exactly as you say, securing systems is becoming increasingly difficult, and actually the perimeters are dissolving, so we've got all the kind of mobile device and interconnectivity around. I think a lot of organizations are going to be looking at how they secure data as opposed to the systems, and keeping data, for example, encrypted but only readable by people that have the right authority and access levels to it. I think there's going to be quite a significant kind of landscape change in that over the next few years. But thinking about the right here and now, it's hugely important for organisations to understand who their threats are, and that's going to be dependent on what type of sector they're in, what geographies they operate in, what their market is, who their customers are, all of those types of things, and then being able to think, okay, well, what does that mean they're going to want? What type of data are they going to want out of my organisation, and then figure out how to protect that bit better.
Now the thing is, you could put the fear of God into somebody if you say, go along to an event, turn on the Wi-Fi, access a hotspot, and your data, your bank details, anything on your phone, could easily be accessed or anything on your laptop. Now, you could say that the cyber thieves could do that if they wanted to, but ordinary thieves aren't quite to that level yet. Do you think it's only a matter of time before we go anywhere, do anything, and then we're suddenly exposed like that?
I think on a mass scale, it's going to be a little while before that type of thing is absolutely prevalent, but there are instances pretty regularly of people setting up fake hotspots in cafes or near corporate environments, so they look like the legitimate Wi-Fi points that people want to connect to, but it's actually the network traffic is being monitored by the criminals. So having things like VPN in place, so that actually all of your traffic's encrypted and secure between you and where you know it's supposed to be going, whether that's kind of through corporate gateways or personal VPNs, etc. Any kind of use of public Wi-Fi points, etc. Generally useful to have a bit of a safeguard in place.
But most people aren't going to have a CIO or a CSO telling them they need to put on a VPN on their network. They're going to buy phones in shops, just going to turn on their Android phones or their iPhones, and it's like lambs to the slaughter. Who should really be taking responsibility for this? Should mobile network operators be giving more advice? Should consumers be more aware? Who should be making them more aware? Because people could also turn it on businesses and say, hold on, I was in your premises when this happened and I fell victim to a mobile hotspot attack.
Well, it's a real mix. So if you look at some of the government initiatives that are going on at the minute around things like Get Safe Online, which is one of the UK government initiatives, that actually is a very good repository for the type of advice that normal consumers, anybody that's buying kind of a mobile phone from a shop and wondering how they do something with it, you can actually turn to things like that to get some pretty good advice. But a lot of it as well is down to I guess individuals being cautious about what they're using the devices for. So if you assume that not everything is as it seems, be careful about what apps you're installing on phones. Actually look at what permissions they're accessing. If you've got an app that's designed for one thing but it's asking for access to all of your data, actually start questioning some of that stuff. So it's good to treat a lot of that type of stuff with a bit of caution.
Moving it kind of further along to more government and national level, I mean, the tragic events of Paris have, the winds of war are flowing again, and people are wondering, what does this mean from a digital perspective? I mean, groups like IS or Daesh, as they're known, are recruiting through the internet, for example. But if you really, really read a lot of the things you read about warfare and digital warfare, we're in a constant state of digital warfare. It could be China, Russia, America. They're in a constant state. Right this minute, what would be your feelings on cyber war and that kind of aspect of things?
So I don't think cyber war is would be a huge step in terms of pure technical capability compared to where a lot of nation states are right now. There are, I think probably something in the region of 20 countries that we're trying to track at the minute that have some sort of offensive cybersecurity capability, and that's sometimes used for espionage, just information gathering. Some of it is actually veering towards a little bit about kind of sniffing around things like industrial control systems and SCADA environments, so the stuff that actually keeps wind turbines going and power plants and all of those types of things. There's been a lot of interest from some specific groups of hackers in those areas over the last couple of years. But it's going to be, I think, quite a big leap in terms of policy for somebody to actually be able to outright do nation-on-nation warfare purely in cyber. But there's a huge amount of activity in the background that is linked to that.
Kris, thank you very much.